Kamati. Today, Spirit has asked me to do a recap of the messages that have come through over the years, and that includes anything from the channeled messages from my spirit helpers and ancestors to prophetic words. And the reason why is because I was having a conversation with Creator, and I've been feeling very anxious, especially this last week, where I was saying, Spirit, Creator, God, what's going on? It feels like 3 years later, we're still going through the same thing. We're still here, nothing's changed. And, I just been in this very deep process of frustration and really felt the need for answers, because I feel like I'm always delivering messages to you guys. And part of that comes with responsibility. And the reason why I say that is because, if I'm going to say something, I want to be able to have something to back up what I'm delivering, because all these messages really come through intuitively, and so I'm trusting, right? I'm just trusting the information that comes through, and then just hopes that they later are pretty much validated. And so that's what this is about, validations and updates as to where we're at. Hopefully it'll bring some kind of solace, but also keep your faith and not hope. And the reason why I say that is because I was having a conversation with someone where I noticed that they said, I'm going to keep my hope up. And I heard Spirit said, no, don't keep hope, because hope is like you're just wishing or hoping for something, but you're not really believing in, right? So we want to keep our faith. We want to trust Creator's work, and that He knows best, that Creatress knows the timing of everything. And so trusting is really what this is about. And so when I bring messages, I don't want to bring hope to anybody. I don't want to sell hopium to anybody, because again, that's just me kind of saying, let's see what happens, and I don't really believe in it. And when I bring these messages, I'm bringing them because I have faith in them, and I trust that Creator's given me what I'm receiving in the right way. And so when I deliver it to you guys, I want you guys to receive them with the trust and the faith in your hearts for Creator, no matter what things look like right now. And I know they look pretty bad, and in fact, that's part of what the message has been. I've been speaking into, that things are going to continue to get worse. And I mean, that's already a validation in itself, from the messages that I've been bringing recently. I remember saying that things are going to get uglier before they get better. And that's where we're at. However, the ugliness doesn't mean that we stay in this place. It means that things are getting dismantled, because it's like things are being shooken up drastically. And so yes, while things get shooken up, it's going to create a big mess, but it's also the opportunity for us to restore ourselves, our lives, and to clean up the mess and start over, start a new foundation. So I want to make sure that you guys hear this before I get into it, because I know some of you just really want to hear the good, and sometimes we have to hear the bad so that we know what to work through, and that's the important part. Again, it's not about selling hopium. It's about the truth and what we need to do as a collective to continue moving through these times. And the only way to know that is to unveil and show the evil side of it too, so that we know what we're up against and how to clear it, how to move forward through it, and just do the things that we need to do right now. So I'm not going to go over all the messages, because that would be ridiculous. My gosh, I don't have the time to go over all of them. I'm talking about 3 years worth of messages that I would have to go through. But I do want to just point out some of the main things that I remember talking about and has come to pass. which a lot of them are, things were going to begin to be dismantled and things were going to be brought to light. And that is where we're at right now. Things are coming to light. And, also in regards with the shots, I did also say that people were going to see the effects of it. As time passed, it was going to be like different phases of them. And it was going to be, I think, like I said, 2 years, then 3 years, and then a 5-year cycle of what we were going to unfortunately see. The people having effects in those different stages, and that it's going to take about 5 years for all of this to settle. And here we are 3 years in, and we're still not done. So it looks like we're pretty much, unfortunately, on track with that. But with that said, I do also want to bring some information that is valuable to you guys, because as you know, I don't just bring information to, again, bring fear. It's for awareness, for knowledge. But then I also like to bring in information that will help you guys learn how to care for yourselves through this, through these times. Whether it's by taking something or by preparing, preventing, or having preserves, all that stuff. And so in regards to the shots, I have come across something that I've spoke about in the past. And again, this is a validation to that message where I had said some things are going to come up where it's going to help people that have already received it and then regret it. And those things are things that you can take that will help you guys detox from it. So there's bath salts that you can take. If you haven't already been following my EE system page, go follow it. I shared a recipe there of a mixture that you guys can add into your bath, and it's very helpful with detoxifying your body. So you could do that. There's also pine needle tea that you can drink, and then also boost your immune system. All these things I had talked about before they were even out, and now they're out, they're available. So this is one thing that is important for me to remind you guys about, that I was talking about, and here we are. It's available, it's around, people know about it. But also, we're still very much in it. So make sure that you're consistent with keeping your immune system up. If you're around people that have received it, and you haven't received it yourself, you also want to continue detoxing. And again, it's going to be for about 2 more years of being constant with your detoxification. And then I had talked about the derailment of a train, and we definitely saw several of those, unfortunately. So there's that. And then I also talked about the shortages of food that was going to happen. This I talked about at the very beginning of when all this was happening. And here we are, shortages of food, the inflation. Things are going to be super expensive. I talked about that, and they are. I talked about making sure you had backup, tanks of gasoline. And, here we are. Gas is really expensive. I talked about, making sure that you guys had, other means of transportation that you can utilize for local transportation, like skateboards, scooters, bicycles. I remember talking about making sure that your bicycles were, in working condition, because we were going to need them. And I see a lot of people riding their bikes now. I see a lot of people walking. That was another thing I said. People are going to go back to exercising, not by choice, but because the gas is going to be so expensive. But it's a good thing. And see, here's the thing, everything that they try to do, we can also put positive into it by saying, hey, you know what, we have to walk, but that's okay, because it's actually helping our health. We're getting fresh air. We're, moving our body, whereas before we were just stuck inside, sitting down. We weren't doing anything. We were becoming complacent and lazy people. It sounds probably horrible, but that's what was happening. And so this is pushing people to, go back out again and really start again, moving our bodies and seeing what things are important to us as far as food even. What things do we want in our body? things are so expensive and limited. I talked about, when the shortages came, we were going to have to be selective as to what do we want to eat, what do we want to put into our bodies. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's about restructuring our lives, restructuring ourselves. And I know you hear the chimes, and I have to point them out because it's not that windy over here and they're going crazy. So I know that's spirit acknowledging what I'm saying. But all these things are an opportunity for us if we look for the opportunity and not the negativity, because we can easily spiral into, well, we can't do this and we can't do that and we can't, go watch this. If we were used to, for example, going to watch movies, it's just a different thing that we have to learn how to do. And again, all of it is just forcing us to go back into connecting with ourselves, our family, our friends, nature, because instead of watching TV or movie all the time, then we could pick up a book and start reading, using our brain, really being creative, start art again, paint a canvas, do things that are activating the right and the left brain. So that's what this is all about. It's opportunity. And it's important that I remind you guys and speak about this because, again, we can get caught up in just all the scary and bad and fearful things that are happening because that's what they want. But it's important that we don't spiral into that because we need to keep the vibration up collectively and individually, because we're responsible for ourselves, yes, but whatever we feel or however we move in these times, the actions that we take, the choices that we make is also affecting the collective. And it's very important that you guys remember that. What we do to ourselves, we do unto others, and vice versa. So very important that you remember these things. What else did I talk about? I mean, there's just so many things, the prayer. I talked about the church. I talked about religion, that people were going to start realizing that it's not about religion, rather it's about our faith and connection and relationship with Creator, our direct intuitive relationship with Creator, and listening to our intuition and using discernment moving forward. And this is all you see now. People are finally starting to get it. People are talking about, it's not about, this religion or that religion. People are becoming more open to it. I hear people talking about it more and more. And even the people that were hardcore Christians, they're starting to realize, maybe it's not about, Christianity per se. Rather, it's about Creator. Creator speaks to us in very different ways, different forms. Creator is very intelligent and creator of all things. So don't you think that Creator was aware that when the Creator created all people, all type of religion, all type of ethnicities, that we're all part of His creation, that we have Creator within us. So all of it is part of the experience. There is no wrong way of experiencing our connection with Creator. And we're starting to see that more and more. At least I know I am. If you pay attention, you're going to hear that people are becoming more open to other people's practices, because as long as it's love, as long as it's coming from a good place, and that we all have ultimately the same goal, which is to be at peace with ourselves, with each other, to love thy neighbor, and to be in harmony, to take care of the land, Mother Earth, Pachamama, to really honor and respect each other, then that's what matters. That's what Creator wants. That's what our God wants. So no matter what name you have for God, Creator, Allah, Buddha, whatever, Creator is coming through us in different capacity and ways, because we all hear and learn differently. We all connect in different ways, in individual ways. But as long as we're receiving the message, that's what counts. So, again, the religion thing, that is coming to light. I also spoke about the celebrities, and the things that they were doing, all was going to come to light. And all the creepy, evil stuff that they've all been doing. And that's all people are talking about now. And finally, people are detaching themselves from the physical, material things, but also from idolizing people that, really were keeping us distracted from our own growth, from our own talents and creativeness and medicine. It's about what is it that we can offer to the world, and not just like, oh, look at them, and oh, they're wearing a cool outfit, and oh, that was all just envy, or ego, or desire, or all those things that are low vibration, that is not really the bigger picture of beauty and creation, which is love, joy, happiness, peace, abundance. Because abundance is good. It's just about the abundance of everything and everyone coming together. It's not individual abundance. That's where the greed comes in, and that's when it turns into something that is not so positive. When we only want abundance for ourselves and nobody else, then that's when it's not a healthy abundance. But abundance is healthy, and I think you could agree that we all deserve to be abundant, and we are abundant by nature, because we were born into this vast of creation, and we have access to it, but we were told we didn't by those evil people that are now being eliminated. So very important that you guys know that. So all this that I'm sharing right now is word that Creator wants me to remind you of, and to tell you, keep your faith, keep the trust, even when it looks really ugly, and even when it feels like nothing is happening. It is. So much is moving constantly. We're in constant flow. Nothing ever stays the same in one spot. Things are constantly shifting and moving. The energy flows, even when it feels like we're doing the same repetitive thing. We're not doing the same exact thing, because that energy already moved and passed. We can't grab or bring that same energy or vibration back. It's a new one that looks like the same. And the only reason why it looks like the same, because we're doing the same thing with it. So it's up to us to do something different with that new energy that's moving through us and into our space. And if you can grasp that, then you'll realize that we are moving constantly, and that we are evolving constantly, but that we also have to be participant in taking action in that movement. So hang in there. We are in the thick of it, and that anxiousness that I'm feeling, and maybe you're feeling too, is because we're at that point. It's that birthing point. I talked about we're going through a birthing process. I talked about it about a year ago. And now I hear other people who are sharing truth using the same exact phrase, that same exact analogy, that we're going through a birthing process. So that lets me know that I am receiving the words from Creator, because they're also receiving it. These other prophets or intuitives, they use the same phrases. So they've been talking about the birthing process, just like I did. They also are talking about the boomerang that's coming back and getting these evil people. I talked about the boomerang like 2 years ago, and now I'm hearing other people using that phrase, the boomerang is coming back at them. So that gets me excited, because again, I trust that I am getting Creator's word. And so it gets me excited to know then that other things that I'm also receiving are also going to come true. Because if those things came true and other people are listening and hearing and receiving the same message, then that means that the other part of the message, which is not just the bad, but also the good, the rewards, the everything that we're going to reap, is also going to come to fruition. We just have to be patient, but we have to continue to stay grounded, to stay connected, to stay in our prayer. Most importantly than anything, stay in our prayer, because that raises the vibration. That's something that they cannot be in. They cannot be in the light. It's too difficult for them to be in that type of energy. So as we continue to be patient in prayer and continue to connect the vibration to the love and the light of God, that is going to continue to dismantle them. But with that, of course, comes them, kicking and screaming and not wanting to go. Again, like the analogy that I used, when you corner an animal, they're gonna attack. They're gonna do as much damage as they can on their way out, because they are on their way out. It's just a matter of the time, and that unfortunately is not something that I can give you, because I'm not supposed to know it. But I know that it's coming and it's near, and I just really ask for your prayers. I really ask for your prayers, because we are definitely in need of the prayers, because that's what's getting us through. Remember, it started off as a spiritual war, but now it's very much both. It's spiritual, but it's also physical, because it got manifested into this realm, into this reality. So we are doing a double effort of, just keeping ourselves grounded, but also connected to our intuition, to spirit, to creator, because that's what it takes. Is we need to be balanced. We need to be in our authentic alignment with creator, but also rooted in earth, so that we're fully balanced, and that we're not able to be wavered from our truth, from our connection. So with that said, I'm going to pull a couple of cards and see what else Creator has for us. And please remember to comment, to share. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know if you guys are feeling uneasy. Let me know if you guys are at peace. I mean, people are experiencing this very differently, and what things you guys are doing to keep yourself feeling grounded. It's good to share those, that information as well. And then lastly, I want to say, I'm offering prayer for anyone that needs it. You can email me. I'll leave my email at the bottom, and just have your prayer request. And I'm also, I have it in my heart. Actually, Creator's been asking me to put together a gathering for prayer, and that's going to be in a physical. I'm just looking for location. I'm not sure where it's going to be. It might be outdoors, because that just seems like the more practical thing to do is find a outdoor park or something for us to come in gathering, and just be in worship, and have some prayer songs, maybe a drum circle, something like that, to honor Creator, to raise the vibration, and just really come together in that good way. All right, so first card I'm going to pull is the Father Gate, bold step forward. So that's beautiful, and I just feel that we are exactly, as I said, we're at the entrance, we're at the gate of that shift, but it is going to take a bold step forward for us. Like, it's not going to be like, okay, we're just breezing right into it. As you guys can see, it takes boldness for us to continue moving forward in these difficult times that we've been experiencing, and Creator saying we need to continue walking in that boldness, in that groundedness, in that place of confidence, but also of gentleness. There's like also a gentleness that comes with it. Okay, and then this one says Watchers, transpersonal. These cards are just so beautiful. I think I'm not showing it right. There's definitely a lot of help on the other side. That's such a beautiful card. It looks like there's a lot going on there with spirit helpers, and the mountain looks like just so strong. So it feels like we have a team of spirit guides really standing with us, walking with us, and just reminding us that we're not going at this alone, that we have a team of spirit helpers on the other side that are walking and seeing us through this. And then the last one I want to pull is Dream Thief, refusal of the call. Wow, that is so beautiful. And there's an owl feather there. There's a couple different feathers, and that looks like an owl of some sort of a bird. So there's wisdom within all of this, and there's definitely an aspect of the greater dream of humanity that's trying to be stolen from us, but there's a refusal from the collective that it's just not going to happen. It just feels like it's just not going to happen, and it feels like there's a crossing of dimensions that we're doing right now, because as I look at this, it's so beautiful. It looks like there's a portal that we're going into. So we're going into the next dimension with wisdom in a different way, but it is, up to us to answer the call of being able to step through the portal, as we come into the gate, right? As we come in closer to the gate, and know that we have the watchers, the people, the guides that are walking with us, and that we have the wisdom to be able to know when and how to do that. So yeah, it's a difficult time, but it's also a time that I feel many of us are going to remember, and those of us who continue to really fight in a good way, with prayer and with word and with coming together and supporting each other. We're doing it for our future, children's generations, and they're always going to remember this. We're going to remember this. We're going to have stories to tell, and they're going to have stories to tell about how we never gave up. So I want to remind you guys to just keep moving forward, no matter what it looks like. We got this. Aho. Love you guys.